bring back the head of the table because the OTC sucks. That was Oath Keeper, and I do not agree. I actually think that Roman Reigns is doing a great job at being a good guy while keeping true to his villainous nature that brought him this far. The head of the table was a bad guy. He was a bad guy, and he wanted power, respect, and money. And if you listen to the OTC promos, he's still talking about money, power, respect. The only thing really different is he's nicer to Jimmy, his family members. He's willing to talk to Jey, and it's very, very refreshing because a lot of times when a villain turns face, they lose what makes them special. Look at The Miz. Every time he turns face, he just loses it. No matter what, though, when you become a face, you have to change somewhat. And he has changed a little bit, but I still feel that he has a lot of the head of the table in his OTC self right now. He's never said anything good about the fans. He still hasn't said, oh, fans, I just love that you respect me and supported me. No, he's still Roman Reigns, doesn't care about anyone about himself and his family. And in reality, the OTC is probably what the head of the table thought he was at the time, but now he realizes he was actually horrible to his family. So the OTC is actually who Roman was probably trying to be before WrestleMania 40, within the mind of the character Roman Reigns. I can't pronounce the name. Jey logically should have acknowledged Solo. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Nobody knows the rules, really, except for I don't know who. I really don't think anyone knows the rules. I think they're just making up as they go. Where are these, like, tribal chiefs, the elders, who sent Solo to help Roman at Clash at the Castle? Why haven't they stepped in and said, hey, Roman, you need to acknowledge Solo, or hey, Solo, give it back to Roman. You're not the tribal chief, not yet. And you want a hot take for you? I'm willing to bribe you to subscribe to this channel and comment by giving away this belt at 10,000 subscribers. And you're like, Ken, you don't have to bribe me. And then there's other people that are like, yeah, you do. That's fine. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. Just subscribe and comment. At 10,000 subscribers, I will give this belt away. And do you want to know why? Half of you are like, yeah. Half of you are like, no, I just want the belt. Okay, well then I'm talking to the half that want to know here because I want to become a full-time YouTuber. Please, please, please comment below. Get the notification. Hit that bell. And then, yeah, let's do it. Let's make me full-time and let you have a belt around your waist. Was that a hot enough take for you? Because if it wasn't, we've got more. Brah. What the heck was Cody talking about? LOL. That's from Tis Mickey 2007. So Cody Rhodes just went on and on about the championship, the Crown Jewel Championship, saying how he has to do it, he has to be the first to leave a legacy, all these things. And I think that Cody was trying just a little too hard to put over the importance of the Crown Jewel Championship. I'm sure he wants it to be awesome and amazing, but I don't know, it did feel like he was trying to sell us a used car that we didn't really come to the lot for. You know, I came to see Roman, and Cody's like, but I've got a championship belt over here with diamonds. Can we talk about this for a minute? Cam Nami, I still don't see Solo as a threat. He still feels just like a mid-carder, and yeah, he kind of does. He has definitely grown. He had some mic time with Roman on the opposite of the ring, and he did a very, very good job. However, the Jey Solo confrontation didn't get super like, oh my god, until Jey confronted Jacob. Jacob feels like a future main eventer, while Solo feels like a present-day mid-carder. But Solo, you are doing a great job, and this was a very difficult hand that was dealt to you, so props to you, Solo. Sorry, 1800, Cody giving me the urge to vote with his promos. I swear. Well, it is an election year, Corey. It seems like we have a WrestleMania 23 rematch between Undertaker and Batista choosing Democrats and Undertaker going for the Republicans. So Cody in the middle telling you to get out and vote. Did Roman just acknowledge Jey? That's from Metal Mayhem. And yeah, I believe he did. I think there are two forms of acknowledgement. And Roman did one form twice today, and he didn't do the other form. There's the acknowledgement of your success. Good job, we're proud of you, Jey. That was Roman acknowledging Jey. And he even acknowledged Solo, but he actually said the words, I acknowledge you, Solo. And I think he was acknowledging Solo because on some levels, he respects what Solo has done. He saw Solo as kind of like, his enforcer who took the reins of the bloodline and made a name for himself. So he is acknowledging that. However, the second form of acknowledgement is the acknowledgement that he doesn't just give out, and that is, I acknowledge you as the tribal chief, because when Solo said, you have to acknowledge me as the tribal chief, that's when he got mad. That's when he got super upset. And that acknowledgement of tribal chiefdom is reserved for him and him alone. Overall boring night, says Metal Mayhem. The majority of people who sat through SmackDown tonight were waiting to see what Roman was going to do. I actually kind of enjoyed the SmackDown. I'm glad that the tag team division is getting some spotlight, but I get what you're saying also. And in reality, this is more in tune with what SmackDown has been for the last 3 or 4 years before WrestleMania 40. It was just, we start off with what's going to happen with the Bloodline. Then we sprinkle the Bloodline throughout the show. That's the thread. And at the end, we find out what happens with the Bloodline. And that's pretty much the template that has been successful for SmackDown in the past. And they just kind of repeated it because if you notice, we got actually backstage segments with Roman again and the Bloodline, and I really miss those. But, Metal Mayhem, you might want to buckle in because when Roman is on the show, I believe this is going to be how it is moving forward. Candy Marmain, Roman versus Solo at Crown Jewel for the Ula Fala. You know what? Yeah, let's do it. Let's just get it done with. However, I don't think it'll happen at Crown Jewel because we got War Games still, and can we have the Ula Fala up for grabs at the War Games? Worst case scenario, Saturday Night Main Event. Ideas, Ella and Isaac, LA Knight and the US title should have been more featured, more on the show rather than boring women's matches nobody cares about. Well, I will argue this. If we don't have women matches being presented, then nobody will ever care about them. And I do feel that people do care about them, but they might not be your cup of tea at the moment. But I will say this, it would have been nicer to have LA Knight than not to have LA Knight because I love that guy. And I do enjoy the fact that the tag team division was spotlighted as well. So I think he was just a victim of a 2-hour show. If this was 3 hours, he probably would have got more airtime. And I agree with you, though. He could use more airtime, but I don't necessarily want to just sacrifice the women's division or the tag team division just to get LA Knight more airtime. But that said, let's figure it out and get the guy more airtime because that guy is money. Tyrell, the Bloodline storyline is stale, has been for years, and needs to die, as it is the modern day NWO, and not in the cool way, like in the WCW 2000s way. Ouch. NWO 2000, that is an insult for real. I see where you're coming from, but I don't agree. I do feel that the Bloodline storyline has had its ups and has its downs. Now that Roman's back, I feel it's heating up, and I can see that there's some kind of plot twist that's about to happen and not a swerve for the sake of a swerve. Because Paul Heyman said at WrestleMania 39, the Bloodline was only in the 3rd inning. So for you, you got a lot of innings to go. For me, that's a good thing. But for you, I'm sorry. You're going to have a lot of bathroom breaks in your future because the Bloodline, I feel, is going to be here till at least WrestleMania 42. Southpaw Jimmy, Candice getting the pin with Nia a non-factor was the least expected match result of the year. Yeah, actually, it was very surprising that in the women's tag match, Candice just got the pin. For a second, I thought, is this a botch? Was it meant to happen? But I don't know. I think maybe, I honestly, I don't know. I still don't know if it was a botch and she wasn't meant to get the pin, but it was very refreshing. It was definitely refreshing, and the way that Nia looked mad, even though she won, was really cool and so on par with Nia Jax. And I love the fact that Candice actually said, I am the Speed Champion, because you're like, wait, what? What's the championship? Yeah, there's a Speed Championship on Twitter, 3 minutes or less, and I loved that she is wearing that with pride. I wish it could have only been better if she actually held the title with her. I don't know why they don't let the Speed Champion bring the title to SmackDown. Sami should have been the one to show up on SmackDown, not Jey. That would have been interesting, actually, because maybe, what if we did this? What if we did this? Jey was super upset, right, after Jimmy showed up on Raw. So Sami sees that, and then he goes to SmackDown without telling Jey, but he goes to SmackDown and say, hey, Solo, can we just not... Can you guys just keep your little war on SmackDown? Who are you, Sami, to come tell me how to run family business? I never considered you an actually honorary Uso. You don't belong here. And then maybe even beat up Sami? That could eventually bring Jey to SmackDown to confront Solo because of what he did to Sami. So I actually like that idea. That's from TTJC. The Vigilante won. Solo's good on the mic. You know what? He's getting there. He is definitely getting there. If he hadn't been thrusted into the main villain of the entire WWE, I think people wouldn't be so harsh on him for his ring work, his mic work, all these things. Following Roman Reigns, that is a hard act to follow. Solo has done a great job. I still view him as a mid-carder, though. I don't take that back. I'm sorry, but if you want us to take him as a credible threat, don't book him to lose 3 matches in a row. But on the mic, he's doing it. He's coming into his own. He's definitely coming into his own. Jey is really the kingpin. He went to Raw and he has orchestrated it all from behind the scenes. Kind of like we think that The Rock is the one whispering in Solo's ear. This Come At Me Now is saying that it's actually Jey and he's controlling everything from Raw. I don't think that is the case, but what if it was? That would be a huge swerve. So if that's the case, I'm coming back to this video, this comment, and saying, hey, Come At Me Now, he figured it out before anybody else did. Got the nation. Roman Reigns should fight Solo Sikoa at Crown Jewel. The winner will get the Ulafala necklace. I've already covered, but again, let's resolve this Ulafala situation. It's WWE. Put it on a poll if we have to, but let's have a match and a stipulation that the winner gets the Ulafala. Tristan, mid-card titles are being protected too much and they need to be hopped around more to bring some more excitement. You know what? LA Knight hasn't really been champion for that long, and Braun lost his title to Jey, and now Jey's probably going to lose it back to Braun. So I think with the Intercontinental Championship, you're going to get your wish, but I think for now, they're keeping it on LA Knight because they don't want to elevate him into the main event yet, but they want to keep him super strong and as a champion because that guy, he has the presentation, he screams, I'm a champion, and they don't dare put their golden boy against LA Knight because LA Knight will cook him, absolutely cook him on the microphone. So they got to keep that belt around LA Knight, yeah, but Braun Breaker, Jey Uso, they're going to hot potato a little bit, and I think you'll get your wish with the IC belt. Teddy 420, Jacob will turn on Solo, and Jey will join Roman and Jimmy to battle the new Bloodline at War Games. Me and you, Teddy, we're on the same page. At War Games, win, they lose, Jacob will turn on Solo. DeVille Stewart, Roman Reigns face-to-face with Jimmy Uso for the first time since Mania 40. Roman says, I'm proud of you instead of, I'm sorry for everything I put you through. Jey doesn't buy it and still not rocking with Roman, so I don't blame Jey. I don't blame Jey either. Like I said in the last hot take video, I do not blame Jey for not accepting just this, hey, you're a good guy now, I'm going to come and help you. No, Roman Reigns did horrible, horrible things to Jey, and Jey has every right to not help Roman. But I will say this, in regards to what you said, I think it is on point with Roman, actually, and I like the fact that Roman didn't say, I'm sorry, he said, I'm proud of you, because to Roman Reigns, respect is better than I'm sorry. But to Jey, maybe not the case. So Roman gave Jey what he valued, respect, honor. But Jey just wanted hey man, I'm really sorry for what I did. You know, I love you. That's what Jey wanted. But Roman was true to his nature. Tate 32, Street Profits should take out DIY next week. Sneak attack them out of action. Forced to drop the tag team titles and start a tag team Hall of Pain heel run. Oh, I would love that. Hall of Pain is one of my favorite versions of Mark Henry. In fact, Hall of Pain is my favorite version of Mark Henry. I don't know if they could do Hall of Pain, but I do like them turning heel on DIY and costing them their #1 contenders match. That way, the Motor City Machine Guns can go fight for the titles. DIY is protected, but we have the Street Profits and DIY in a storyline. Rose Gold J, we need a skip button on the whole crown jewel thing. Yeah, kind of, maybe. There's value in it. There's value. I just don't like the crown jewel championship or the idea of putting champion versus champion, because that's going to make one champion look weak. Even if the Bloodline interfere and cost Cody the match, or Goldberg comes and spears Gunther and costs him the match, a champion is still beating another champion, and I just don't like that idea. Lloyd Bula, WWE needs to make Roman champion again. A lot of people are saying that Roman is now above the championship, but nah, I think he should be champion again. Right this second, I don't know about that, but two things happen. Roman has to go for the championship eventually because it's his property. It's what brings him to the island of relevancy. Or he decides, you know what? I'm above the championship. I don't need it. Well, that makes whoever's holding it look weak and inferior. So Roman has to go for the championship again. Andre the Vegan. Fatu defeats Jey for the Intercontinental Championship. Jacob is going to cost him the title, but he's not going to defeat him for the title. Raw has the Intercontinental belt, and SmackDown has Jacob. So, not going to happen. Not yet, at least. Josh Nommel, Jey should get a heel turn and become the new tribal chief to give face Roman something to fight against. It would be a cool, shocking twist that would actually even make sense, where now Jey is the bad guy, and it is Roman's actions who turned Jey evil, and Jey now is just saying, hey, you know what? I'm this way because of you, and now you're going to deal with the consequences. That would be very cool. I just don't see it happening, but on some levels, though, I would actually like to see that. Monster Jabroni says, Roman Reigns is overrated. No, he is not. You are wrong. Negligence says, I'm sorry, but Cody Rhodes is sounding more and more like a politician each week. Talking about what ifs. Yeah, he kind of is talking more and more like a politician. Karaoke Goku. Jey being on SmackDown was a fun surprise. My theory has been completely shut down because Solo and Jey seemingly don't want anything to do with each other. Maybe Solo cost Jey the IC title? Yeah, I'm thinking that's what happens. We've all had theories. I've had like 3 or 4 theories on where's the Bloodline gonna go. But so you're not alone with your fantasy booking crumbling before you. Dragon Ball Z fan, DBZ fan, ironically, despite how bad the segment was, Cody has made me laugh. Who the heck is Nick Bockwinkel? Alright, well, I didn't think the segment was that bad, but, listening to you guys have made me, reflect on it, and I'm beginning to think, yeah, Cody Rhodes was kind of selling it pretty hard, but that's what he's supposed to do. Nick Bockwinkel, wrestler from back in the day, legend, before my time, though, okay, so I only know he's a legend because of what people have said about him. Donatello Leonardo, the tag division is a mess. I get needing the Bloodline to have some gold, but you are now bringing in new tag teams in a division that has nothing to wrestle for since the belts are staying in the Bloodline. Get the belts off the Bloodline. Just get the belts off the Bloodline. They don't need it. Can we just not have the belts stuck in a faction that cannot lose, but then again cannot wrestle all the time because we can't have the Bloodline wrestling all the time? Just please stop with the belts in a faction. Unless it's the Usos. They get a pass. Anne Hathaway rules. I still love this name. Fighting over ownership of a dumb Hawaiian necklace is as stupid as fighting over a beaded bracelet. Remember when wrestlers used to steal each other's belts? Okay, yeah, I get it. The Ulafala and even CM Punk's bracelet has been elevated higher than some titles. Definitely more important than the tag team titles. But I will say this. It's kind of good that they're fighting over the Ulafala and the bracelet. Because if CM Punk and Drew McIntyre had been fighting over the World Championship, well then Damian Priest and even now Gunther might not have got the shine that they did. But the Ulafala, that's a little more, I don't know, it's symbolic, it's representative. And at the end of the day, it's wrestling. If you make it important, then it will be important. No matter what, you can make anything super valuable, and that's what they did with these, and I do think it allowed for other wrestlers to get spotlights while they were fighting over some symbol that represented each other's hatred. Monster Jabroni, hot takes? The only people in the Bloodline who have been good are The Rock and Sami Zayn. I do not agree with that. However, I will say the two peak times of the Bloodline for me, the Sami Zayn era and when The Rock became the final boss. However, it was the Usos, definitely Roman, the Wise Man, and Solo Sikoa holding it down for us to get those peaks. There are peaks and there are valleys. I don't think they are the only two worth anything in the Bloodline, but I do think their time in the Bloodline was the best of times for the Bloodline. Stuart Moore, Solo is the true tribal chief. I don't know if you are being facetious or not, but I will say this. No, he is not. But no, I don't think so. We can all tell that he is a pretender to the throne, but he's been a pretty decent pretender, let's be honest. And so those are your hot takes. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for sending them in. Right now, the only way to really do it is on the community tab. I will post like 2 or 3 times saying, hey, I need some hot takes, and then I will do the hot takes. As of right now, because I still have my day job, unfortunately, hot takes will take a day or two after the show. But when I do become full-time, then I promise I'll get them out next day, if not day of. Guys, girls, have yourselves a great day, a great week, a great month. You know what? Finish out the year and let it be great. I know, it's only October. We're talking about the end of the year. Where does the time go, people? Just yesterday, The Rock was calling people fatties and to shut up. Oh, good times, good times. See you later.